What's up, guys? I'm real excited to do this video breaking down two of my favorite guards in the NBA, and Kyrie Irving and Russell Westbrook. We'll kind of show some video highlights as we discuss the two, and at the end I'll kind of give you my final decision. So before we get going, make sure you guys subscribe if you're new to this channel. I do a lot of sports topics, and as you know, with the kind of lockdowns going on in the sports world, this is kind of a way for us to stay fresh and keep talking about the athletes that we all love. So make sure you guys go and like and subscribe to this channel, and thank you for watching. Let's get into this. Alright, now let's start with Kyrie Irving, the ankle bully of the NBA. Now for Kyrie, every part of his offensive game is just beautiful. The ball handling and the bag is it's unmatched. I mean, no matter what way you try to play him, he has a counter for everything he tries to do, and whatever spot he's at on the floor, he has a move or a shot that he can make on a consistent basis. I mean, to say his ball handling is elite is an understatement. Really, his ball handling and his finishing ability are both at an all-time level, something we've never really seen before in the NBA. The one part of his game I do think is a little underrated is his shooting ability. And obviously he can score, but this is a guy that's won the three-point contest, and I've always been impressed with, even when he's doing all these fancy dribble moves, he seems to be able to get himself right on balance to shoot mid-range or three-point shots. I mean, really his balance in general, even finishing around the basket, that's just an incredible part of his game that, you know, unless you watch him a lot, you might not look at something like that specifically. But yeah, like his agility and balance is really what makes him a special player. I love this guy, man. He's shown what he can do. I think his 2016 finals run is still underrated and underappreciated. You know, definitely LeBron deserved that finals MVP, but what Kyrie was able to do is definitely a top 10 performance that I've seen in the finals. I mean, it's definitely better than what a lot of other guys have done in their finals berth, and that just truly impressive. This is one of the clutchest players in the NBA. Just has ice in his veins. You know, he's not scared of anything, and he just has that Mamba mentality. You know, some people have kind of downplayed, you know, some of the things he's done. Some of his stops recently have not worked out. You know, obviously he left LeBron James, which I thought was a great situation for him. At the same time, though, I thought that the Boston situation was going to be good. I liked their young talent. I thought it was something that he could grow with, and things didn't quite work out there. And then now he's in Brooklyn, and he was having a career year, but unfortunately it went out with injury. And even when he was having a career year, the team was floating around 500. They would have probably got in the playoffs, but I do believe in Kyrie Irving. I know that the last couple of years have kind of hurt his reputation. He hasn't really been able to build upon that 2016 finals run that he had, which is unfortunate. But as he continues to get healthy, I have no doubt that he'll pick things back up and be the Kyrie that we all know and love. Now for Russell Westbrook, we're talking about the most athletic point guard in the NBA. Just a relentless competitor, also one of the best rebounding guards of all time. This is a guy whose stamina cannot be underlooked. Just a guy that flying down the court off made baskets, scoring buckets, you know, grabbing a rebound, sprinting down the court in the fourth quarter, still dunking and screaming on guys. I mean, that stamina that he has and he plays with is unmatched. You know, that intensity. Another thing I like to bring up is his 15 to 18 foot jump shot. To me, had he not developed that the way he had, he would not have become, you know, the all-star player we see. He'd have been a much different player, because that's the shot that's always kept the defense honest, and you had to play him for it, and that's how he's able to get past a lot of guys. So really just an overall great overall player. His passing has always been a little underlooked to me, especially as he's developed. It's definitely the most improved part of his game. This guy that can make bullet passes all across the floor, fit into tight windows and pick and roll situations, and has really just become one of the better passers in the NBA, and definitely one of the best playmakers. Defensively, he's also definitely been underrated too. Again, narratives on guys like Russ have always kind of carried the weight of what people that maybe don't like him think, but he's one of the better defensive point guards in the NBA, really no question about it. Yes, there are better guards, and yes, he's not perfect defensively, but when you stack him up and compare him to like a Kyrie Irving or like Dame and Steph, like, he's much better defenders than all those guys, like really not even a question. Just a really versatile player. This is the guy that's had to fit into different situations as a basketball player. He's had to be the leading scorer, he's had to be the leading rebounder, had to lead the team in assists. He's also had to take a step back and say, you know what, Paul George, you know, you're going to be better for this team being the leading scorer. Kevin Durant, you're the leading scorer. James Harden, you're the leading ball handler. You know, he's had to fit into and do different roles based off his situation, and that's something that you really love to see from a star player like him. And it's also become underlooked because a lot of people like to say he's not a winning player, when really that's just not the case. You can't exclude the Kevin Durant years. He went to a bunch of Western Conference Finals, and even without KD, like he's made the playoffs each and every year. Yeah, unfortunate first round losses, but there have been stars that have missed the playoffs before. I mean, look at Kyrie. Like he hasn't been the same player, since when he's not with LeBron. And I'm not trying to get on Kyrie, but you got to give Russ a lot of credit for consistently being in the playoffs, proving to be a winning player and a player that can fit into different situations just because of how versatile he is, from defending to rebounding, assisting, scoring, like he's playmaking, and then just again his intensity, his stamina it's really unmatched. It's truly incredible that at his age he's still as athletic as he is. I really can't say enough about that. Him and LeBron are just 1-1 in that way. I think about other point guards, think about Rondo and Darren Williams, even Chris Paul. Once those guys hit 30, they were in a completely different phase athletically. They weren't running past guys and stuff like they used to. Darren Williams used to be dunking on people. He wasn't dunking on people at 30, 31 years old. So a guy at his height that's able to do what he does, he's 1-1 in NBA history, and I love the Brody. All right, guys, now I've kind of said what I had to say about both these players. Before I give you my final verdict, I want to say the scenario in which I'm thinking about this is I'm a GM and I have to draft one of these players first overall without knowing what the rest of my roster is going to look like. So, I don't know if I'm going to have shooters or other playmakers or defenders. I'm going to have this guy, then I got to, kind of just make the roster around them, not know if I'll have any other stars or anything like that. So, with that being said, a lot of great things to say about both of these guys. Obviously, Kyrie is the one that's a better shooter, better ball handler, can create more shots, from the perimeter, just overall better shot maker, while Russ is the more versatile player. Really every other thing, Russ is probably give the edge to defensively, rebounding, passing, obviously getting to the basket. But and I like both their intangibles. Kyrie's intangibles more lie in his clutch gene, his ability to play great in big spots, and big moments. But Russ, just his intensity, just that never say never kind of attitude. He never given up on a game. His teams are never out of it. That kind of stuff. So with that said, I am going to go with Russell Westbrook. I just think that he's shown the ability to fit into more situations than Kyrie and still be a winning player. Obviously there are situations where you might want a Kyrie Irving better. I think Kyrie would be a better fit with LeBron James. Kyrie would be a better fit with like a Giannis Antetokounmpo. But Russ is a better fit for someone like Anthony Davis. And personally, in my opinion, I think he's going to end up being a better fit with someone like Kevin Durant. I'm not saying that Kyrie and Kevin Durant won't be a great pairing. I'm excited to see that. But I thought that Russ and KD were also a great duo. So that's my opinion. I like Russ's versatility more. Not mad at anybody if you want to go with Kyrie Irving. I mean, again, he's a much better shot maker from the perimeter. He steps up in big moments. He's a guy that's really just unstoppable offensively when he's going. But I'm going to go with Russ, who's just a more well-rounded player. Just the tenaciousness. You never have to worry about, his I don't want to say moodiness, but just, you're going to get his maximum effort each and every game. And that's just something that you can always live with. He's shown over a longer period of time that he's just going to be there for you. And then the health. I didn't really even mention the health yet, but Russ, despite the injuries he's had, he's a much healthier player than Kyrie. He's played a lot more games, and all that stuff is just, as a GM, I just feel much more comfortable drafting Russell Westbrook than Kyrie Irving. But thank you guys for watching. Again, I love both these players. Make sure you like this video and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what other players you'd like to hear me kind of break down. Again, we're in a rough period for sports fans, so just comment down below what you guys think, and appreciate you watching this video. All right.